Scorpius says codpiece.
Really?
Hey, Claude, do you have a favorite episode?
4 seasons, a mini-series, and your favorite episode's the one with Scorpius' codpiece.
No, that wasn't my answer. I'm last.
Who votes that Ben's answer is next?
My favorite episode, and I have a number that are favorites, but the one I remember most fondly is A Dog with Two Bones.
Yeah.
And I realize it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I loved, and, you know, when we were shooting it, we were scrabbling to get it done, but I love the beautiful lyrical nature of it. I love the way it's shot, and you know, I think that the coin toss scene, which came out of great negotiations and problems, and out of this tremendous storyline, I think it's one of the really great moments of the series, and I would watch it just for that scene alone. Again, you do understand that the idea of tossing a coin was Claudia Black's idea.
Ben and I had decided, we were talking about this at Comic-Con, Ben and I had decided there were incredible makeups and puppets and all sorts of stuff going on, but every piece of work, everything you do in life needs to be grounded, and for us, we'd just decided anyway that at the heart of the show was it was a story about love. It didn't matter about which characters or about whom, but it was a love story as far as we were concerned, and that was what we felt was our enjoyable job every day, was to tell that part of it. And so yeah, I mean, Dog with Two Bones for me, I mean, that scene was amazing to do. It was very emotional because it was the last scene we shot that season, so the crew came down at one point to watch, so it was sort of like live theatre. For me, physically though, in terms of fun, we spent a lot more money in the first season doing location stuff, because we wanted to really sort of like an advertisement for shooting in Australia. Let's show these amazing landscapes that we have. And so we shot out at Kurnell near the airport on the sand dunes, and we were in these dune buggies, and we
Icarus Abides.
What?
Icarus Abides.
Yeah, and that to me, it was just unadulterated fun, and it sort of really struck me then that we get paid to do things that otherwise would be completely illegal. And there was so much freedom on those days out there, and I really felt I was really lucky to be part of that. Massive explosions. So yeah, that episode in particular really sort of opened things up for me, and I also felt for me playing Aaron, that episode 7, PK Tech Girl, we shot in a really cool location.
Deadly.
In Balmain, in a sort of old factory.
An old power plant that was falling apart. It was literally falling apart, but that doesn't stop an Australian crew from going in there and shooting at night when no one can see anything. The concrete was crumbling, the metalwork was rusting, and it was, you know,
and there was
asbestos.
Asbestos. Yeah, and they said it's okay as long as you don't trample the asbestos dust where you're walking. If you don't lift it off the ground, it's okay as long as it stays.
Or as long as you don't breathe while moving.
But I got to really, I think the best days for me is when I was sort of being able to be in my body and out of my head, because as a performer it can get very easy to get stuck up here, or in life in general. So you know, I'm sure a lot of you would agree, when you're actually doing something with your hands or your body, you feel really sort of in the moment, and being able to rappel down and have those little sort of, you know, it was my little homage to Linda Hamilton in Terminator. That was such a sort of thing for me, seeing that film as a kid and saying, one day I want to do that sort of work as an actress. So for me, doing PK Tech Girl was the beginning of feeling like I was realizing that.
I think I just have so many moments shooting Farscape that it's very difficult for me to just choose which are the best. However, I do remember one of the quieter scenes that I absolutely loved and remember with Ben is where I'm sitting in a cell, and having this quiet conversation with you. And that for me, everything kind of stopped in terms of full-on action. We just sat down and talked and listened to each other. And that moment for me was wonderful. You know,
Yeah,
just sitting down there.
The end of season 1.
Wow. Yeah.
Family time.
Family Ties.
Family Ties. It's the end of season 1, right? Last episode of season 1.
Yeah. Sorry?
Should have wanted it.
Absolutely. And in terms of fun, you know, one of the craziest moments I remember was when I was on set, and I think it's Won't Get Fooled Again. Ben is in the surgery, and I'm Gordon, this police officer, Gordon, who stinks. Someone on set who had a dog thrusts a white, tiny dog in my hands and says, "Here, try and work with this." And the director agreed, and I went, "Okay." So I'm standing there, and Ben's on the chair there, and all I hear and remember was action. And I'm saying my dialogue, and I'm kind of going, I'm not too sure what's happening here, but I hear cut. And I go, "What the hell is that, man?" And I'm holding this dog, and there's this enveloping cloud of dog fart. And the wrangler kind of takes the dog from me. And we're going in for take 2. And I'm going, wow. And I realize he's feeding him these liver pellets to keep him quiet. And we go, "Stand by. Action, take 2, and action." So again, and I still don't remember what I was saying, because all I remember hearing was this such, quite. And I'm standing there going, "Oh God," trying to keep a straight face, do the lines, Ben's line there, and cut. You know, that was one of the funniest moments for me. It was just crazy. Won't get fooled again.
That's fine. Next question.
Hello. So you sort of answered my first question of what was your most memorable or funny backstage moment, which I think you just answered. So I'll go on to the next part, which is actually for Claudia and Ben. How did you feel doing or revisiting Farscape on Stargate in episode 200? And actually for Ben, how did you feel playing not your character, but letting Michael Shanks actually be the real love interest, as that was her love interest in the show? So how did you feel being bumped?
I don't know whether separately we came to this decision or not. When I read the script, my impression was, I don't want to play Crichton on Stargate. It was, as fourth wall as that episode was, I didn't want to be, I didn't want to do that. And I don't, and at the same time, I don't really think that it was my writer brain said, who would Vala cast as Crichton? So, there was certain negotiations around that. Now, Claudia, what was your take on it?
I thought they were treading on very, very fragile ground.
I cry a lot about stuff like that.
Sorry?
I was crying a lot in those days, yeah.
So I just sort of watched with interest. I thought, okay, I'm not going to be defensive about this show, of which I'm enormously proud. I'm happy, I can have a sense of humour about it. I can appreciate the way they described it in the scene, the cameras are at a canted angle, there's steam, there's smoke, there's, disaster everywhere. And so I just thought, all right, I throw myself into it. How can I be of service? And the hair and makeup girls just sort of realised that they didn't want to do something stupid in portraying the characters, but they wanted to make it clear that it was a parody. But when they were thinking about the Chiana makeup, they didn't know where to start. I'm sure you had to think about it when you got up this morning. And I said to them, you know what, there are a couple of tricks, and if you're interested, if you want to know, just let me know, because I observed the process as it grew over the years, the things they tried, the things that worked for them. And so although it was so funny that information became useful in such a different context, so I would hear the girls saying, you know what, I walked in one day and Gigi's wig was hanging upside down, and they went through this whole process at the end of the night where they would wash it and then hang it, pin it on this thing. And I said, why do you do that? And they said, oh, well, we find that it gives it a lot more volume in the morning if we hang it upside down overnight. So I started telling them all these things. I said, you know, they got a white wig and they dyed the roots black to give it depth and all the, I won't give away any more tricks of the trade. But it sort of became a useful way to become involved in it, and those things worked, and I thought, oh, well, that was time well spent in the makeup room for all those years. And, you know, I mean, it was fun to do. It only lasted a couple of seconds of screen time, thank God, because I felt like I was sort of making fun of one of my best friends. Yeah. Is there any...
Next question.